greatest nigga in Clemson. LSU fan came get in my booty. Roll Tide, fuck you. Roll, baby.
Oh, bitch. Are you that stupid?
Yes, I am.
I'm not going to sugarcoat things. It's a fucking shit show.
I like holiday music. I'm happy. All right. Well, welcome into CSF Late Nights. My name is Rob Sanders. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. My buddy down in the bayou, Mr. Dave Exotic, Mr. Average Dave. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on, my brother? Another day in the in sportsman's paradise.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to go into tonight, including, ladies and gentlemen, I have raw footage of Alabama and Georgia fans arguing with each other. Yes, arguing with each other about who's the better team. We'll play that for you shortly. That's going to be coming down the pipe. Before we do that, though, we're supposed to have our friend, the Gnome, with us this evening. This is the time of the year where he actually shines because he can actually be his gnome self, and play himself off as an elf. He really could. But for some reason, he is not, he was supposed to join us this evening, but I have not seen him yet. Dave, is he hiding under a rock? What's the deal here, buddy?
Apparently, he's hiding in Andre's house. I don't know what Andre's doing
hiding
with
in
him.
Andre's house. Maybe him and Andre are having the sexy time. Ooh. Let's find out. Mm-hmm.
It sounds like Mr. Claus and his little elf want to make some content for Pornhub.
Yeah. Sloppy party bottom. Who's the sloppy party bottom today? All right, let's make sure I got the right number here. I don't want to call somebody else. Okay, here we go. Let's call the gnome and see if he's awake. Ring phone. There we go. Calling the gnome now. See if he answers.
Hi, you reached Jonathan with Chapman Consulting.
No one cares.
To my phone right now. I'll leave a message and I'll call you back.
At the tone, please
Hi, Dave.
record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Mr. Lorman. This is David with College Sports Fanatics. I was calling regarding your vehicle's extended warranty policy. If you could please call us back at 877. Stop dodging the show, asshole! And answer your phone. We would love to hear from you at College Sports Fanatics.
Exactly.
My asshole wants to suck cock.
Fuck you, pay me.
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
There you go. There's our contribution trying to help him out.
We're just trying to get him back on the show, guys.
Yeah. He's at Andre's house picking his dick. I got video of him doing it last night.
I don't want to see that video.
He's standing out he's standing out on the fucking porch smoking cigarettes, picking his dick. He can get on the goddamn show. I'm not asking a lot here. Just fucking sit there and make fun of Fuckstick when Fuckstick calls and fucking join the show. All right, let's see who this is. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
Yo,
what's up, buddy?
man, I paid my internet, bro.
How is the gnome as a roommate? Is he pretty good, or does he leave like hair in the tub?
I gotta make sure I don't step on him. It's kind of hard to see.
Fuckstick says that Dave and I need to say roll tide. Why would we say that? Why would anybody that has any kind of a fucking brain say that? Hold on. Somebody's at my door.
It's Fuckstick, man. You gotta understand.
He thinks just because Alabama finally did something for a week that they deserve to. Everybody say, "Roll Tide." Man, roll Tide off a cliff. That's what you should say. Roll Tide off a damn cliff.
I won't say what he wants me to say, but I will say thanks for doing what everyone outside of Georgia knew was going to happen this entire time. They were going to choke when it mattered the most. It happens every year. It happened this year.
Yeah,
you
my
know
mother-in-law
that
lives
right
next
now
door.
they're
She was wondering
favored?
what we were doing, so she brought us a sweater for the girl for
Did you
tomorrow.
see if they got the odds out, if Georgia and Bama were to play in the championship, some idiots still got Georgia favored by 2.
Really?
I heard that tonight. I'm like, what?
Really?
Did they not watch the SEC? Fuck you too! Dude, if that's the case, I'm gonna place a bet.
Yeah,
and it won't be on Georgia.
it's there are 2 absolutely safe bets that are out there in the bowl season. I'm gonna give them both to you right now. Go to your bookies if you want to make you some money. I'm putting my reputation on these 2 picks. Okay, the first is Alabama to beat Georgia. Take the money line. They're going to give you 2 points. Take them. Alabama's going to mouth pump Georgia. That's fucking there's no, people say that we're anti-Alabama. No, we're realists. We just don't like you fucking fans. It has nothing to do with Nick Saban. Yeah. Nick Saban's a great coach. They've got great players on their team. Will Anderson's great. They got the Heisman Trophy quarterback. It's just you dumbass fans that want to suck dick and have no teeth, have death problems, and
Heisman caliber linebacker. That guy plays for Michigan.
Yeah, that was some shit. And the other pick is,
I said it with a straight face.
I know, right? Well, South Carolina with North Carolina. Take North Carolina and give up the 7.5. North Carolina's going to have Ty Chandler and their big running back, and they're going to have Howell has also said he's playing. South Carolina lost their leading rusher. He's like, fuck y'all, I'm going to the NFL. Those 2 are, and if you look at North Carolina's last 4 games, they beat Wake Forest. They lost by a field goal to NC State, and they lost another close game to Pitt. So by like 3 points. North Carolina is a pretty decent team, even though they are 6-6. Plenty good enough to mouth pump the Gamecocks. They're probably going to win that game by 20. But take the 7.5, or give up the 7.5, and then whatever they're going to give you with Alabama, because Georgia is a shithole.
Well, that's what people assuming that Georgia's going to beat Michigan. That's not a gimme at all.
Not a gimme either. Nope. Michigan runs the ball, and they have a pretty good quarterback. So there's 2 things there. So Chucky says he's not one of those fans. Chucky's a liar.
Oh, that's a damn lie. He's going to go to hell.
Yeah.
He's a liar. He's a brand new basketball fan, brand new baseball fan. I mean, he didn't even know Alabama played basketball until last year.
Yeah.
And then when you start bringing up, Alabama basketball and, them losing, they want to talk about football or baseball, whatever. It's just ridiculous. But
hey, can I, Andre, while I've got you on the phone, would you like to be the one that we can, should I play the clip of the Georgia and Alabama fan arguing back and forth while I have you on the phone? Are you cool with that, Dave?
Yes.
So this is Georgia and Alabama fans arguing with each other. Here we go.
I hope you find a therapist who can help you. I hope you die of ass cancer.
There you go. That's all. They're fucking terrible. They're terrible people. Both sets of the fan. A perfect college football playoff, by the way, would be Michigan and Cincinnati in the final. That way we can give the finger to both of those fucking the word schools. Wouldn't that be great if it were Michigan, Cincinnati?
As fun as that would be, I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either, but wouldn't that be fun?
The second string gets COVID.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen, but wouldn't that be awesome?
Or get seriously sick. Just get COVID where we can't play.
No, not get COVID. just have a false positive test. where they don't actually have COVID, but the NCAA regulations say they have to quarantine. That way nobody gets hurt.
The third string Alabama might be able to still compete anyways.
That might be true. Might be true. But that would be a perfect. If Michigan and Cincinnati won, I would laugh my dick off.
I would rest Alabama's starting quarterback. It's not like he needs to play that game. He'll have already won the Heisman by that time anyway.
That's a good point. All right, what else you got for the show, Andre? Your quarterback transferred. Welcome to hell. Check your soul at the door.
And I was going to get into that. So a lot of people are freaking out because there's a lot of people leaving LSU and yada, yada, yada. Listen to a show today. This guy made a good point. Freaking Les Miles only signed 11 people his first year. It happens every time there's a new coach. You know, you're going to have people leaving.
Right.
And to me, that just shows that they were dedicated to the coach and not the program. So I'm not really that mad about it. My biggest concern, and I'm sure Dave knows about this, and I said this to Jonathan, was Corey Raymond, the defensive back coach, going to Florida. And everybody who sat there and said that, you know, I'm not talking about in the group, I'm talking about just general LSU fans and other pages and stuff. They had this, you know, complex where, oh no, we can't hire the UL coach because we're too good for that shit. Well, now he's taken one of our most talented coaches to Florida. Someone we got to play every freaking year. You know, that concerns me way more than people transferring out of the program. I mean, let's face it, they're going to hit the transfer portal. We'll have a pretty decent team next year. You know, for people to think we're going to win 10 games next year, probably not, but it'll be better than this year. You know, it'll be a more disciplined team too. But
I know that the situation is completely different, but
extremely worried.
Right. Look, I know that the situation is completely different, but Brian Kelly at the beginning of this season didn't believe he had a 10-win Notre Dame team, and there they are. I mean,
Notre Dame's schedule was hot dog water, so
yeah,
I hate to be that guy, but you know, and Georgia fans, I can give you this too. Georgia's schedule was hot dog water, so and I'll stand by this too. And you know, I know certain people that know football, that know the game of Hud agree with me. If you're playing in the SEC East, you're not really playing an SEC schedule.
No,
you're not. So
when an ACC schedule,
it's not really an ACC schedule in that. I'm just saying that you don't. It's almost like you go to Krispy Kreme and you order a sugar-free donut. That's what you are if you're in the SEC East. You get to come out in that big box that looks like it's one of the really good Krispy Kreme donuts. Do you guys have Krispy Kreme down there?
We do, but I would never eat that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. Pick your favorite donut place. Obviously, whatever the hell it is, okay? But they put them all in the same box, all right? That's what you are in the SEC East. Okay? You get in that same box, but you're a sugar-free donut that's going to give somebody the shits later on. That's what you are. Okay? When you have South Carolina is a perfect example of this. They didn't play Alabama for 8 years. They had like an 8-year window where they didn't play Alabama. It may have been bigger than that. I can't remember.
Sound like Georgia.
It's the same way with Georgia, you know? Georgia, they complain that, oh, well, we get Auburn and we have to play Tennessee, which 3 years ago didn't win a conference game. Vanderbilt, which didn't win a conference game this year. South Carolina, who's been a shithole. Mizzou, who is rebuilding. I mean, the East is garbage right now. Florida is not very good either. You know what I'm saying? South Carolina got SEC wins this year over Auburn and Florida. Wrap your head around that for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have Alabama on their schedule. They had Texas A&M and they got fucking mouth pumped. All right? I'm just saying, if you're in the SEC East, you're a sugar-free donut. That's what you are. You get in the SEC box, but you're not really an SEC schedule. And by the way, we're going to have some issues on this show, and I think Dave and I'll be okay, but there's going to be some people that are going to be pissy because the end of the season, I have what's called the bookcase of accountability for my show on Fox Sports Radio. Bring some of that into here. And we're going to look at teams that how many ranked teams at the end of the season, okay? So when you look at, if we use LSU for an example, okay, how many ranked teams that finish the season ranked in the CFP does LSU play? I assure you the list will be high for the SEC West teams. With the SEC East teams, it's not going to be very high at all.
No.
Just your regular season wins, your regular season games. Right now, Georgia fans don't want to hear this, but the toughest game that they've played is the first game of the season. Clemson was their Super Bowl. In the regular season, that's just the way that it is. Now, obviously, you get into the playoffs, you get into the championship game, things change. But the toughest game they played was number 19 Clemson. And those are absolute facts. So when the people that run their mouth, oh, we play an SEC schedule, you are so fucking stupid when you say that. I mean, just ignorant. Ignorant. So go ahead, Andre.
That would be not only that, see exactly of all those teams that they played in the final rankings of the CFP, how many did they actually beat?
Oh yeah, and look,
then it gets kind of interesting.
Well, and like, look, if you and I'm using Clemson as an example here. Clemson lost 3 games this season. They lost to NC State, who's ranked 21st. They lost to Georgia, who's ranked, I guess, 3rd, and they lost to Pitt, who's ranked like I think 16th. Those are the 3 losses for Clemson this season, which is funny because everyone's like, "Oh, Clemson's falling off the face of the planet." They beat Iowa State. They've won 10 games again in a season for the 12th straight year. Yeah, Clemson's a shithole program. Only other team that's done that is Alabama, but fuck who gives a shit.
Clemson would have done better this year if DJ would have played better.
Well, the Clemson had the issues with the offensive line, is what it boiled down to. Their defense was, if Georgia's defense wasn't so shiny and so great, Clemson's defense would have been talked about as being one of the best in the country. So there's that. So, but
one last question for you, Rob.
Sure.
And this is about Clemson. How does Brent Venables leaving affect Clemson?
Well, Brent Venables was a hell of a recruiter. So there's that on that front. Hell, the guy was recruiting on fucking Friday. He got announced as coach on Sunday, and he's still out recruiting on Friday. So it's like, you know what? He's driven. But as far as the type of guy that Brent Venables is, you are not going to find anyone that is more, what's the term I can use? What the term in the military, Dave, you'll get this, is squared away. That's what we use in, yeah. He's one of the most squared away motherfuckers you'll ever find. Runs 8 miles a day, literally, and then comes back and does nothing but wants to watch football and coach. And the kids that play for him absolutely love him. And he's got balls the size of cantaloupes. Let me give you a little story about Coach Venables. I got to interview Cleveland Farrell at ACC Kickoff, okay? And Venables got tired one. I asked him to give me his best Coach Venables story. So Farrell was part of that 2018 team that just mouth-pumped Alabama. Just mouth-pumped them. So you had Farrell on one defensive end, Christian Wilkins, who's the starting defensive tackle for Miami Dolphins, Austin Bryant, who's another guy that's bounced around in the NFL, and they had a slew of just great players, okay? So they're in practice one day, and I'm telling you the story the same way that Cleveland Farrell told me. So Coach Venables got pissed off because the scout team quarterback wasn't exactly doing what he thought that he needed to do to get the defense ready. So what does Coach Venables do? This is in full contact practice. Venables walks out there in his shorts and a t-shirt and takes the field as the damn backup quarterback. And in addition to that, now that's fucking crazy on its own with no pads, no nothing. Okay. He starts talking shit to Farrell and to Wilkins and tells them both, the term Farrell used was, he said some pretty harsh things to us about there's no way that you people are going to touch me. Okay. But Coach Venables is very over the top with his verbs. He's sort of like me. Okay. So imagine that. You're telling two All-American players, two guys that are drafted in the top 25 of the NFL draft, basically, fuck you, fuck your mom, you're not going to touch me. And I'm running with the scout team as their quarterback. Farrell said he looked at Wilkins. Wilkins looked at him, and they said, I'll meet you at the quarterback. And they made sure that Venables heard it. So they go and they pop Venables and broke his nose right there on the middle of the field. Venables took 2 steps back, reset his nose, went back and ran one more play and got like a 25-yard completion and then called practice. They also broke his finger. But that just tells you how driven this guy is. And that's what Clemson's losing. They're losing that element of toughness from this guy that's like, you know what? If the scout team's not tough enough, I'll get out there and fucking play for them without pads on. And I'm going to talk shit to my guys to make them better. But Farrell also said this too. He said, I could call Coach Venables right now at any time and tell him I need him, and he'll be there for me. So that's what Clemson's losing. Toughness and someone that gave a shit about those kids and would do anything for them. But he also made them men, meaning he would made them accountable, and they had a standard they had to live up to there at Clemson. So they're going to lose that, and it's going to hurt. You know, you're not going to have that next season, and that's really going to hurt. But Clemson will have a lot of talent, and if they get somebody in there that that can actually run the same scheme, etc., they're going to be fine. But man, losing Venables really, really hurts. He's there for 10 years. That doesn't happen very often.
Right.
So yeah, losing Venables hurts pretty bad. It really does.
The interesting thing for me about Venables being the Oklahoma hire is that I guess it was, and I'm going to screw up the year, but at any rate, social media was born and people got to take to social media to air out their grievances for whoever was drawing their ire at the time. He was coaching defense at Oklahoma, and they were getting mouth pumped by West Virginia. And all the Sooner fans took to Twitter to say, fire that dude, fire Coach Venables. Yeah. And now he's the
most ironic thing ever. Yeah. It's like, yeah, they were get rid of this motherfucker. And then now they're like, he came back, and it was like Jesus came back.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. Edwin's got a good question too. Is Elliott going to UVA? Yes, because Anthony Poindexter, who's going into the College Football Hall of Fame, basically told his alma mater to go pound sand. He's going back to Penn State. And Elliott flew out of the Greenville airport today, which is right up there by Clemson for the folks that don't know South Carolina lingo there. And he told everybody, yeah, I'm going up there to interview. So he'll probably be named the head coach within the next day or so. If you've ever, Tony Elliott is one of those guys where when you interview him, and I can say this because I've interviewed him, you seem like you're sitting down and you're talking to your brother or you're one of your best friends. He is that magnetic of a personality. Not like it's bullshit like Bobby Petrino, but he's just wholesome. And, you know, he'll talk to you about anything. He's a very, very smart guy, knows wide receivers, knows quarterbacks. You know, people are like, well, Uyunglele didn't develop under him. There were other things with Uyunglele in that his parents got divorced. There were things that were behind the scenes that Uyunglele threw for almost 400 yards against Notre Dame last season. He didn't forget how to play quarterback. Right. Okay. There were things that changed. He didn't have fucking Travis Etienne, the all-purpose yards leader in ACC history, in the backfield. He didn't have that. He was missing an offensive line starter. He didn't have the wide receivers that Clemson had last year. So with all of that in the mix, there was a growing period there. Now, I think that Uyunglele, I think he should get another season, but man, he looked like shit. But people think that was Elliott's fault. It's not. It's just not. I think he was dealing with stuff off the field, and the combination of that and having to live up to the hype may have been too much for him. So there's that. What else you got, Andre?
That's it, man. Roll Tide off a cliff. Talk at you later, guys.
All right, brother. Take care.
If I'm not
yeah, Tony Elliott leaving's a big deal too. So anyway, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Etienne's brother is going to be a
He's in the
recruit
mix,
in this
yep.
upcoming class. I don't know what school he's
Yeah,
going to.
and he's down to Clemson too. So we're gonna find out quickly with him. But he's like a little 4-star running back too, and you know, I don't know if he's gonna go to Clemson or not. We'll see. So the other thing too is, and I'll pull it up right now because I laugh, and I know that people are like, well, Rob's a Clemson fan. Look, I deal in numbers, okay, and numbers are what's important to me. When I look at the 2022 recruiting class, number 9 in the country right now, despite the fact that they don't have 2 coordinators, is the Clemson Tigers. And they're doing it. And here's the other thing. They're doing it, Dave, with 13 commits, whereas everyone else around them has 21, 22, so their numbers are much higher.
Right.
But if you look at their average ranking for each player, they're at 92.67. The only teams that are higher than that are Ohio State, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Alabama. So in theory, they have essentially a top 5 class. They just haven't signed enough players. And that's because Dabo Swinney is probably going to use the transfer portal. And he's probably got a couple of guys that are going to commit that we didn't quite know about yet. Right. So there's that. Clemson's going to be fine. I mean, I firmly believe that. Another 10-win season next year, and everyone's bitching about, oh, what happened here?
I mean, it's one season. Like, LSU fans didn't fall off a cliff over Les Miles after one season where he didn't win 10 games. It was several seasons of the same trend.
But you lost your shit with a season and a half with Orgeron, though. So that's not really a good example.
He historically fell off the cliff.
Yeah. So there's that.
The interesting.
All right, phone is open. 803-470-2905. Go ahead, Dave.
The interesting part for me as an LSU fan is listening to Notre Dame fans talk about their new coach and how excited they are about him. And then almost in the same breath, acting like Brian Kelly had nothing to do with what Notre Dame is.
How about this? How about Brian Kelly developed your coach?
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, he was only there for a season, but still.
You think you didn't learn anything from Brian Kelly?
No, I'm sure he did.
Exactly.
I'm sure he did. And, whether Notre Dame fans want to admit it or not, Notre Dame's in the best shape since the 80s.
They are. Look, and I know a lot of folks don't want to hear this shit. Notre Dame's finished in the top 12 for, I think it's 9 straight seasons.
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid fucking football program. If I told you, and look, if I told you that was going to happen for any program, you'd think, wow, that's pretty great.
It's a good run.
But they haven't gotten over the hump of winning in the playoff, but they finished in the top 12. I think it's for 9 straight seasons. So with that, Notre Dame's they're a solid program. They really, really are. And for the folks that think they aren't, I don't know where to go with that, but we're going to see how Coach Freeman does.
And a testament to the program itself is that the 2 top coordinators that Brian Kelly had stayed.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing too is
what's that?
Notre Dame is 6th in their recruiting cycle.
But that's going to change because you got other teams that
22 commits right now.
Right.
So,
which is why I think it's going to change because there are other people below them that haven't filled their recruiting classes yet. LSU's sitting at 15th or 16th, but they've only got 11 commits.
Yeah. So it's like that. Trevor Etienne is the running back that Clemson has on the list there. He's got like 22 offers. He's from Jennings, Louisiana. Where is Jennings at compared to you, sir?
No clue.
Okay, well, that's where he's from. Clemson's also in the mix for a 4-star wide receiver, Antonio Williams, out of Dutch Fork High School right here in Irmo. He's considered, they got him considered as warm. They could end up picking him up too. That'll help them out a little bit. At tight end, they got Josh Sapp from Greenville, a 3-star prospect. Offensive tackle, they got their top 2 commits there. Yeah, at cornerback, they got 2 commits already that are, one's a 5-star and Dalen Everett from IMG Academy. The other is a 4-star from Malden, a young man I've never heard of. And then they got another man, Toriano Pride from East St. Louis. So defensively, that helps out. At safety, they got another 4-star commit, 2 4-star commits at safety. They got a 4-star athlete in Jaron Kanai. What's his name? He's from Hayes, Kansas. You know what comes from Kansas, right, Dave?
I don't.
Sunshine and sons of bitches. And they got a quarterback in Cade Kublanik, who is the number 1 in his position, top quarterback in the country. So I wish that Clemson would have done a little bit more with defensive linemen, but they've got some guys that they've offered. But Shamar Stewart is a 5-star player from Florida. Curtis Perry is a 4-star player from Pike Road, Alabama. Clemson's got some guys in the mix. They're going to be fine.
Absolutely.
Andre says it's closer to Lake Charles. Let's look at, since I looked at Clemson's, let's look at LSU schedule, LSU's commits really quick here, if that's cool with you.
Not as pretty as Clemson's.
As Clemson's? Yeah. LSU is currently ranked. God damn, they're behind Kentucky. They're behind Tennessee, behind South Carolina. They're 25th. Holy shit.
25th. Losing those 2 commits dropped us 10 spots. Wow.
Yeah, you're number 25 now, according to the late. You are behind Boston College, sir, and Georgia Tech, and Rutgers, for fuck's sake. Rutgers has got a top 25 class. Let's look at what the Tigers have. Here's the thing: you finish with the top 25 class, you're still ranked 9th in the SEC. So congratulations with that. Hard commits. Best players, offensive tackle Will Campbell from Monroe. Walker Howard is a quarterback from Lafayette. He's over there he might be over there molesting the gnome. And,
he's also a 5-star quarterback. I don't know what his national rank is, but
position ranked is 5. So he's the 5th best quarterback in the country.
It's not terrible.
5th best offensive lineman in the country, Will Campbell. Then we go down from there. A couple of cornerbacks. This isn't a bad class. He just needs some more players.
Right.
To be honest.
So there's also a 5-star safety in Louisiana. I forget his name off the top of my head, but if they pull that guy, he's the 3rd 5-star player that can join the class. And most people are predicting that he is going to join the LSU program.
Let's see here. You're talking about a safety, right? And they
Yes.
offered a ton of damn running backs. Hold on, I'm looking here. So tight end, safety, 23 safeties here. Not from Bradenton. Oh, it's from Ponchatoula, Louisiana.
Yes, from
Jacoby Matthews. He's a 4-star prospect, right there on the edge of being a 5-star guy. So yeah, maybe they're in the mix. It says that they're warm according to the 247 Sports site. So there you go with that. Brandon says apparently ass whooping also comes from Kansas if you're the Longhorns. Good point, sir.
At least he can laugh at himself. God bless you.
God bless you running out of a uterus. Poor guy. Secondary players may decommit because Corey Raymond's going to Florida. Well,
it's possible.
Look, here's the thing. Kelly needs to be recruiting his dick off right now, because if he doesn't, if they lose one class, it could affect them for a while. Let's go to the phones.
I don't know what Kelly's plan is for the current defensive coordinator, but if I'm not mistaken, that guy cut his teeth coaching defensive backs.
We'll see.
Like that was his
program. Good evening.
How's it going, fellas?
Hey, what's up?
Well, since y'all are talking about recruiting, I thought I'd go ahead and call in. Might as well, right?
Sure.
So
ahead.
I got some notes for you, Rob. I went ahead and took
Okay.
some notes because I know you're a name guy, and I'm not so good at it. So that's how I remember shit.
Okay.
So starting off, do you think? I think so, but do you think? Damn, I can't pronounce his first name. Quinn, maybe, possibly. I can't remember. Ewers, the quarterback that left Ohio State.
Yeah.
You lean
He's all
more
the writing on
towards
the wall.
Texas.
I think he's going to go to Texas Tech, but I could be wrong. If you told me to take a guess, he's going to go somewhere in Texas, but I think he's going to go to Texas Tech. Just a guess.
Only reason. What about you, Dave? I'll let you. I don't know if you know about him or not.
I mean, I'm familiar with his name, and I know that he entered the transfer portal. If I'm not mistaken, he's a Texas kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine that he ends up at one of the Texas universities.
Josh Pate from 247 Sports put out on his podcast the other night that he thought that he was going to go to Texas Tech. So that's kind of if he put that out there, then I mean Josh has got his foot on the ground out there in Texas more than I do. I'd probably go with that.
But there aren't. I mean, if he's worth his salt, there aren't really any teams in Texas right now that I would say have a great quarterback. So, I mean, he could probably pick which university he wants to go to.
Edwin says reports today were uterus commit. We'll see. Good point. Good point, Edwin. I don't know.
Reason, so my viewpoint on it, and this is just kind of going off of what I was seeing today. So he's already visited Texas Tech. Texas Tech was, a big favorite. Well, after he visited Texas Tech, he visited TCU, which I have no idea why he would do that.
How about he's from Texas and he wants to go to TCU? Maybe that's what it is.
That's kind of hard to believe. Maybe if Gary Patterson was still there, I would believe that. But since he's gone, I don't think so.
Okay.
And he visits Texas on Saturday. So, in my honest opinion, this is just my opinion, of course, if he was so high on Texas Tech, and I mean, he was a Longhorn commit at one point before he actually went to Ohio State. So, if he was so high on Texas Tech, I think he would have already taken that option. But since he's looking at other schools, I don't think that Texas Tech impressed him too much.
I think it just depends on where Sark's at with his quarterback's room. And, I mean, if you're a quarterback with an opportunity to play for an offensive-minded coach like Steve Sarkisian, why wouldn't you if you had the chance?
But I think that they'll have him at Texas Tech and doing I mean, they're always pretty good on offense, too. It's hard for me to really look at recruits and like try to pin where they're going to go because they're fucking 18. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing at 18. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm not trying to shit on what you're putting out there, Brandon. It's just these kids don't. A lot of times, like I used to do recruiting stuff, and if you call them up and you tell them, "Hey, I'm calling from Columbia, South Carolina," oh yeah, I love the Gamecocks. They're great. They'll feed you that line of shit because they don't want to hurt your feelings, thinking whatever. But in reality, they don't know. A lot of them don't know until they fucking figure it out, and then a lot of times they're not going to tell you shit anyway.
Well, and on top of that, I don't know if y'all saw the NIL deal that Texas just came out with, I believe 2 days ago, that they'll pay all the offensive linemen $50,000 annually.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's going to be happening everywhere. I mean, it's already happening at BYU where everyone's getting, I think it's like it's like 25 grand or so. I can't remember. It's some big round number that every scholarship player gets a ton of money. So I don't know. NIL, they're going to have to figure that out. because
They're gonna have to be
if they
some point.
well, if they don't, what's going to happen is that the only programs that are going to be able to attract players are programs where there's a hell of a lot of people, meaning that places like Clemson, and you could use, I mean, LSU's in Baton Rouge. That's a pretty big place, but Alabama's in Tuscaloosa. But how much money is there for these kids? Because I think he had like, I can't remember how much money it was, but it was over six figures to be at Ohio State, and he took 3 snaps for him. So you do the math. There's 100 kids on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, is there really that much money out there? Think about it.
And kind of going on that, I think they're going to have to cap it at some point. I feel like, or, I mean, it's just going to get out of hand. I mean, it's already kind of getting there anyway. But, I mean,
it
I
didn't
feel
take
like
long
they're
either.
going to cap.
Well, look, I don't have any issues with, well, first of all, let's just be honest. They're getting, before all of this, they were getting money. If you're going to sit around and be like, oh, my program didn't give them, they got money. It was, $10,000 in a briefcase or whatever. But now this is above board money. So there's that. Edwin's got a good comment. Emmert stated today that several schools are under investigation for possible NIL violations already. Yeah. And his next comment is exactly what I was going to say. Not that the NCAA has any teeth. Any time that this guy speaks, if you have and I have the credentials where if he does one of the Zoom meetings or whatever, I'm going to get on the next one and ask him, why have we not heard anything about Tennessee? It's been a year. How long does it take to investigate this thing? Murder investigations are wrapped up faster than your investigation of them giving money away at McDonald's bags. Why does this take so long? I mean, that's something that
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And it's like swept under the rug and everything else. No. We know for certain that and Tennessee admitted to this, that they were giving kids money in McDonald's bags. He admitted to doing it. Yeah, they admitted to doing it. So I don't here. Let me help you out, Dave. If it'll play. Damn it. Anyway, no, but they admitted to doing that. They admitted that's why they fired freaking Jeremy Pruitt. And that's why they fired him, and they didn't pay him his buyout. Well, if you did all of that, then you should be punished. You should absolutely be punished.
Yes.
So then they're like, oh well, we've concluded our investigation, and we're not going to step out of a bowl game. That shit should have happened immediately. Should have did that at the beginning of the season. Fuck your investigation. You knew what happened. You knew enough to get rid of Fulmer and Pruitt and not pay them any buyouts.
Right.
You knew that. You should have opted out of a bowl right then. But Tennessee is a quote unquote blue blood program in the eyes of a lot, and that may get swept under the rug, but it shouldn't be. They got South Carolina one year for having too much icing on cookies. That's not a joke. It was a secondary violation. There was, quote, too much icing on cookies, and it was a secondary violation.
Soggy biscuits.
Serving too big of a meal at an approved meal time or something. So, yeah.
You're shitting me.
No, I'm not lying. They pop you for 2 text messages that were sent. This is at Kansas State, where the coach texted them that night, but the kid's phone was off, so they didn't go through until the next day. And the kid told his high school coach about it, and his high school coach reported it because that's what they're supposed to do. And it looked like the text was sent after hours. Secondary violation. The NCAA should kill itself. They really should. Just seriously. you are worthless for shit like that. But we can't figure out where Tennessee was over the top cheating. Here's your Happy Meal with fucking 10,000 in cash. They literally were doing that. Nah, we need 18 years to figure that out. But you make sure those cookies only have 1/8 of an inch of icing. Measure it out. You get it right. So there you go.
So I know this was a long time ago. How long did it take them to investigate Penn State?
Oh, it didn't take them long because there was sexual assault cases there, and they got that done quickly.
Yes.
And they took Joe Paterno's wins from, but said something else too. They took his wins from him, but then they gave them back to him. What does that say? Seriously. I mean, honestly, and I know there's a lot of Penn State, we're trying to move, and I get that. And I respect what they did there with, trying to have a clean slate and all that. I'm fine with all that. But the reality is you had a defensive coordinator who was having sex in showers with young boys over years of time. And you're telling me that Joe Paterno didn't know anything about it? And if he didn't know anything about it, then he's too stupid. I mean, it's as simple as that. So he shouldn't have gotten his wins back, and it tarnishes his legacy forever. I know everybody loved Joe Paterno, but the reality is that if it falls under your watch, it's your fault. That's why I feel the same way about DJ Durkin, where the young man died at Maryland. It's the same thing. You're responsible for it, sir. It sucks to be you. You hired that guy that ran him to death. What you got, Dave?
I was just saying that's absolutely correct. Anytime, so people could say, "Oh, well, I mean, he probably didn't have direct knowledge of this, that, or the other," but it's his job. Just like Patino at Louisville with all the hookers and blow and shit that was going on. Oh, well, he didn't have direct first-hand bullcrap. That's his program. You think that all that stuff happened without him really knowing what was going on?
He knew.
If you think that, I've got oceanfront property on the moon. I'll sell you for Sheeb.
I got bowl game tickets to Texas this year for you that I'll sell you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Rob.
It's a great one. What are you talking about?
Hey, and I'm just, you don't have to see them run out of a uterus anymore for,
All right,
hold
on. Let me help you with this. Even when they are running out of a uterus, I don't watch their games. They're not a relevant program enough for me to watch.
Stopped that, though,
Sorry.
I started watching it on ESPN. I just kept up with the score.
I don't watch. Look, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't watch Texas games. I don't watch. I watch Alabama games because they're normally in the top 5. But yeah, I'm not watching fucking Texas. That's not happening. Good luck with all that.
I'll watch the Red River Rivalry, just like I'll watch Bedlam.
I'll watch it on. I'll watch it on Twitter.
Actually, false. You're going to be watching Texas next year.
Oh, I'm not. Unless they're playing Alabama.
Right?
Unless they're playing Alabama or South Carolina, I won't watch them.
Well,
Fuck
that's
them.
exactly
Fuck
who they're
them
playing.
forever. You don't know that for sure. Have you seen their schedule?
Actually, I have. It's already out.
What's the schedule for next year?
They play Alabama. I think second game or maybe first game of the year.
Hold on. Let's see if I can look at it up here. Hold on. Texas football schedule 2022. So obviously, this is from FBS schedules. Yeah, you're not playing in conference though. You're playing in Texas against Alabama, and you're still playing a Big 12 setups. Yeah, I tell you what, man, that's a big fucking barn burner right there to watch. Is that from 2022? When you have to go to Kansas. Oh my God. I mean, doors will be shattered. Let's not forget UTSA, the Road Runners. Ugh.
I'm just saying. I'm going off what you said. You said you won't watch Texas, but you'll watch Alabama.
I'll watch Alabama, but I probably won't watch that game just because I told you I wouldn't watch Texas. They're going to win by 30 anyway, so I don't have to watch that game. Huh?
I said it might be more than that.
Might be more than that.
Spoiler
So,
alert: Sark will not
I'm
become the second.
I'll watch. I'll watch
season.
SEC games with Alabama in them. You know, you might, and Andre's right. You might lose to UTSA. You might.
I don't think that.
Let's look at the other games for them next season that I will not be watching. You will beat Louisiana Monroe. They're a shithole. You play at Texas Tech, then of course West Virginia at home, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, bye week, and then you're off, and then you get Kansas State, TCU at Kansas, and then Baylor. I see 5 wins there. 5 wins, maybe 6.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I say 4, but that team beat you this year. Maybe 3.
No faith.
Man, you know, hey, Brandon, have you heard of the transfer portal? You can transfer out and go and be a fan of, I don't know, anyone else.
I'm pretty sure they'll beat the Warhawks. I'm pretty sure they'll beat the Roadrunners. And after that, man.
They'll beat West Virginia. West Virginia's losing everybody.
Are they? Okay, so then they could beat West Virginia. But, I mean, Texas Tech, they're playing at Texas Tech. Oklahoma, I don't think they're going to beat Oklahoma.
I don't want you to say that, oh, yeah, Texas Tech will whoop their ass. Because definitely was not the case when we hung up 70 on them. So, and that's the shitty team. That was the shitty Texas that did that.
I gave you 6 wins, man.
Hey, you know what? At least we'd get a bowl game next year.
That's bowl eligible.
Yeah, you're gonna go to the OnlyFans.com bowl.
Still remember
I just says to ask Brandon to tell you the Texans wins for next year. Which games do you think you're gonna win next year?
All right, hold on. Let me.
I'll read them off to you. You just tell me win or loss. Louisiana Monroe.
Okay, that's a dub.
Alabama.
Not happening.
UTSA.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
All right, so you got it at 2-1 at Texas Tech.
And hold on, before you continue, let me tell you why UTSA. I don't know who said that Texas was going to lose to UTSA. Was that Andre?
Mm-hmm.
Only reason I say that is I've looked at their roster before. All their stud players and whatever else, they're seniors. They're gone. So
you know what? Just stop for just a second. How shitty has your program fallen where we're debating on whether or not you lose to UTSA?
I'm not debating it. I'm just saying it's not happening, and I'm giving you a reason why. Their highlighted season this year, they did so great. Yeah, all those people are gone.
All right, so you got them at 2-1 at Texas Tech. What do you got there?
To win.
That's 3-1. West Virginia.
Win.
4-1. Oklahoma.
I don't know. Let's come back to that one because I'm not too sure.
Fuck me. Iowa State.
I think we might lose that one.
4-2.
4-2 at Oak State.
Yeah, lost.
4-3.
4-3 at Kansas State.
That's a win.
5-3. TCU.
Win.
6-3 at Kansas.
Definitely not happening again. Win.
7-3. Baylor.
Ooh. It's at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might win a close one.
All right, so you got them at 8-3, and then you lost your sack with Oklahoma. So why don't we just call it a loss?
Yeah, it just depends. It all depends on what happens.
All right, well,
you know, they're one of their QBs is leaving. Is Caleb Williams going to USC? I mean, kind of depends.
Yeah. So you got them at 8-4. Okay. I'll do Clemson's schedule really quick for you here. Let's see here. Clemson plays at Georgia Tech. That's a win. Louisiana Tech is a win. Furman's a win. At Notre Dame might be tough, but you know what? I'm going to take them anyway. Yeah, South Carolina's a win. They haven't announced the dates for the ACC games yet. Clemson has to go to Florida State. That could be tough. And Clemson also plays at Wake. So I'm going to go conservative and say Clemson goes 10-2. 10-2.
10-2.
10-2.
Look at LSU, and this is dicey.
I got LSU's right. I got LSU's right here. Hold on.
Florida State.
LSU's got Florida State. That's in the Superdome. Man, I don't know. We're going to go 50-50 on that one. They'll beat Southern. I think Mississippi State will be tough next year. So I tell you what, I'll give them the win over Florida State, but give them the loss to Mississippi State. So I got them at what 2-1. New Mexico is a win. Auburn, I think they win at Auburn because Auburn's a shithole. So I got them at 3-1. Tennessee in Baton Rouge. When's the last time Tennessee won in Baton Rouge? Do you remember?
I could not tell you.
I don't know. Look that up really quick. What's the next game for that?
So you have them at 4-1 going into the 1, 2, 3.
The Tennessee, right?
Yeah, you have them at 4-1 going into Tennessee.
Yeah. All right. After that, let's see here. I got at Florida is a loss.
4-2.
Oh well, shit. Ole Miss is probably a loss too.
4-3.
All this is just mental masturbation, by the way. So I got them at 4-3. Alabama's probably a loss.
4-4.
I think they beat Arkansas.
5-4.
They beat UAB.
6-4.
And wish list Texas, I think they beat them too.
7-4. So then the only one you didn't pick was Tennessee.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let them beat Tennessee. Those fucking hillbillies.
8-4.
So 8-4. That's not bad. Is Edwin going to cuss me for that? Edwin may cuss me for that. I got him at 8-4, Edwin. I'm checking to see when's the last time they won at. Wow, I didn't know this. LSU has a 5-game winning streak in the series, but Tennessee leads the series by 10 games. They played 33 times.
Really?
Tennessee's got 20 wins, 10 losses, but LSU has won 5 straight. Their last win in Baton Rouge, the last time they won was in Baton Rouge, and that was in 2005. LSU lost by a field goal to Tennessee in 2005. Was Peyton Manning on that team? I honestly don't remember. I'm not being a smartass. I just don't know. I gotta look that up.
I think he was gone by that time.
Yeah, probably so. LSU.
Yeah, because T. Martin won the BCS championship in '98.
See football. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find a game recap on that. Hey, here we go. Man, ESPN's got all of it here. This is from 2005. Gerald Riggs Jr. pushed into the end zone from a yard out in overtime to give 10th-ranked Tennessee a 30-27 comeback win over the 3rd-ranked Tigers.
Wow.
And that's what they were ranked at the time. Here's your team. Clausen, who is this? Rick Clausen was the quarterback for Tennessee. Gerald Riggs Jr. was the running back. For the LSU, it was Jamarcus Russell going 14 of 28 for 158 yards and an INT. Joseph Adai was your running back. Buster Davis led your team in receiving. Here's the crazy thing about that game. At the end of the 3rd quarter, this game went to overtime. LSU was up 24-7 in the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
And you blew it at home. Holy shit. Edmund was probably at that game. Edmund was probably at that game. Holy shit.
Was that Les Miles' first year as the coach?
Hurricane delayed home opener. Holy shit. Hold on, let's see here. Okay. Rick Clausen returned. Let's see here. Everybody makes comments. Blah, blah, blah. Said Clausen. Clausen finished 21 for 32, 196 yards, a touchdown pass. I don't know what happened out there. LSU defensive tackle Kyle Williams said it was nothing they did. It was everything we did. Hurricane Katrina forced the number 4 Tigers to postpone their first home game. Crowd was a bit smaller than usual. Fulmer was their head coach then. Imagine that. Let's see here. Rick's finished with 89 yards. Yeah, Les Miles. First year coach Les Miles. So
Yep.
Fulmer versus Miles
Never
in a
guessed who the
game that goes to
offensive
OT.
coordinator was.
I don't know who the offensive coordinator was. Who was it?
Jimbo Fisher.
Well, fuck him and his mom down there in Wishless, Texas. Fuck that
Just
guy.
for funsies, I have the 2022 Alabama schedule in front of me.
All right, here we go. What we got?
First week, Utah State, loss. Second week, Texas Longhorns, loss. ULM Warhawks, third week, that's a loss. Vanderbilt Commodores, fourth week, that's a loss. Arkansas Razorbacks, fifth week, that's a loss. October 8th, they play the Aggies, that's a loss. Saturday, the 15th, Tennessee Volunteers, that's a loss. They'll lose.
I'm a therapist who can help you. I hope you die of ass cancer.
Let's see. Then they have their bye week. Then they play LSU in Baton Rouge. They'll lose that one. And then they'll finish the season at Ole Miss, and they'll lose that one. So I have Alabama going 0-11 in 2022.
Oh, fuck. See, now, it almost seems like you would have had them losing on the bye week as well.
I mean, hey, if it's possible, they just might.
Hate is real. Anyway, we got Army.
You said on Texas.
Yeah. What else you got? What else you got, Brandon? We're going to talk about Army Navy.
I think that's it, fellas.
All right, man. Have a great night.
All right, man. Y'all too.
All right.
I'm not high, Andre. It's just wishful thinking.
He's high on life, Andre. Why are you mocking that man? You know, I'm not tired of Andre's shit. Andre just calls and just runs his mouth, and then he runs his mouth in the damn comments. I'm not tired of Andre's shit. I'm serious. Shit's gonna be fuck off with all that. All right. Anyway, yeah, the Army Navy game. Let's talk about that for a minute. I'm gonna bring up. Well, yeah, normally being a former Coast Guardsman, I normally go with Navy, but by the way, Army leads the all-time series with LSU 1-0. So Army owned your ass in 1931. They beat that ass.
And what year?
So 1931.
What was interesting to me was before the actual bowl games were selected, one of the projections was LSU playing in the Armed Forces Bowl against Army this year. I wish it would have happened, but
yeah,
alas, it
will
have to be.
So Army Navy plays this year. The longest, Navy won 14 in a row from 2002 to 2015. Here's the thing with Army. I like Jeff Munkin a lot, their head coach. So yeah, I when I step back and look at it, it's like Army comes in at 8-3, Navy comes in at 3-8. Army's a 7.5 point favorite. I think Army's going to mop the floor with them. I watched Army play Air Force, and I'll watch the service academies before I'll watch Fuckstick Texas. Not watching fucking Texas. I'll watch the goddamn Merchant Marines play before I'll watch Texas. Fuck Texas. You know what? I might not watch Alabama games next year just out of spite. Fuck Alabama too. I'm definitely not watching. I have to watch the Georgia-South Carolina game because I got to talk about it on the radio, but fuck Georgia too. Next year, I might just watch Clemson games and fuck everybody else. There you go. That might happen. That way I'm an equal opportunity offender. Anyway, what do you think of this game, Dave?
I think that we wax them. I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think Army's going to blow them out. And oh, by the way, the folks that have the SEC lower back tattoos, they're going to be really pissed off when Army beats the shit out of Mizzou. Oh, I'm calling that one too. Put that one on the list.
I see that
Mizzou's
happen.
a 3-point favorite. Mizzou's rush defense is like number 104 in the country. What does Army do well there, Dave?
They rush the football.
They rush the football, and that is strength upon weakness. Army might run it up. They might walk that Mizzou. And I love Mizzou. I'm a Mizzou apologist. I'll admit that. So there's that.
The craziest
I like
football
them
game I ever saw wasn't a college game. It was it just happened. It was New England. They threw 3 passes the entire game and won that football game. I've never heard of such a thing.
Are your Saints going to make the playoffs? I'm not. I haven't looked. No, I'm not trolling. I honestly, I don't know. I know they beat the fuck out of my Packers, and then I don't know how they've gone after that.
That's terrible.
Are they that bad?
Off the rails. After Winston got injured, the whole thing went off the rails.
Well,
Trevor Siemian came in and looked okay for a couple of weeks, and then he fell off. I think he got injured.
Oh God, man, the NFC South is fucking hot dog water. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, and the Yuccaneers are 9-3.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say this without sounding vile? Tom Brady's due for a career-threatening injury. And what I mean by that, I don't want him to get hurt, but you know, if he has just a simple football injury of I don't know, a broken finger or something, that might be enough to put him into retirement.
You are wrong, fuckstick. If you called in, it wouldn't be 5 minutes before you got your walking music. It'd probably be 60 seconds.
All the program, fuckstick. I'm not gonna put up with any bullshit. If you're just gonna tell me, I told y'all we were gonna beat Georgia. Georgia.
Hope you find a therapist who can help you. I hope you die of ass cancer.
You know where that's from?
I have no clue.
It's from Yellowstone.
Oh, not watched that show. I heard it's good though.
You should watch Yellowstone. It's worth your time.
I just started Lost in Space. I'm actually fascinated by the series so far.
I might get into that. Oh, I watched. I tell you what I did watch. I watched the Netflix documentary on Jeffrey Epstein. Fuck that guy.
I couldn't finish watching that one.
It was terrible, but
that was a yuck.
Yeah,
I
so
still
you
won't
watch
watch
that and you
Surviving
see,
R. Kelly or the Michael Jackson one, whatever. There's something about the Neverland Ranch.
Yeah, I watched this one because I don't know. There's so much mystery behind it, but when you watch that documentary, it's like, my God. And I know all documentaries have a slant, but the problem that I have with if you mention anything like it's documented like with flight logs that Trump went to his fantasy island. It's documented with flight logs that Bill Clinton went to his fantasy island. Now, nobody knows what they did when they got there, okay? But the fact that you were there is enough for me. Sure.
They went surfing.
The fact that you're there and the stuff that we know that happened. Fuck both those guys, man. If you went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, I really don't think you're a good person.
The list of elite 1%ers that visited that island is long and it's gross.
Yeah.
Zero doubts.
I guess, and I've got the whole issue with my daughter's 13, so it's like, and it's like, I can remember being like 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever, and wanting to throw dick around and all that, but I just don't see how. And I her friends that come around, it's like, wait a minute, this is the kind of people that were going to Epstein's island and were getting sexually abused and shit. Got nothing for that. Andres has watched the Netflix show about Mayor Pete.
I don't know if I want to.
No, I don't think I want to do that. Sorry, Andre. All right, well, Fuckstick's not going to call us, so
Chucky, we're not going to talk about Alabama basketball. We're only going to discuss undefeated SEC teams. And sorry, but Alabama doesn't fit into that category. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, fuckstick. Where's Mishi at? She's not calling into the show night no more. She's here. Is she mad at us?
I don't know. There was somebody that was commenting on Facebook.
Should we call the gnome again before we go? No, we don't want to do that. He might be sleeping. All right. Well, it's been a good show. Not okay. So hold on. Let me look at the calendar here so that everybody knows. We will do a show next week. After that, we are not doing a show for 2 weeks because of the holidays. I'm not doing a show on the 23rd. I'm not doing a show on the 30th. I'm just not going to do it. So we might do something else somewhere else, but on the 22nd and 29th, I will not be doing shows. So there's that. If Dave wants to do a show, he can do one by himself, but Rob Sanders is not doing a show. That's not happening. Well, then call, fuckstick. Hurry up and call.
Can't talk about Bama basketball. They're not undefeated, and you're not allowed to suck Nick Saban's dick.
Welcome into the program. Good evening.
How y'all doing? I want to
Doing
talk
well,
about baseball. I don't want to say anything about basketball or football. I want to talk about baseball. I think, from what I've heard, I hadn't looked too much into it, but I think Alabama baseball, Brad Bohannon, has a pretty good shot at the College World Series this year. I just want to know y'all's thoughts.
They're not going to make it out of the SEC.
I will answer that question for you if you will tell me the name of the Alabama baseball stadium.
Sewell Thomas.
Oh, he actually knows. Okay. Well, I think Alabama has, from what I remember in my write-up that I did with the folks from Baseball America, I heard that they're going to have some decent pitching, but I don't know if they're going to have enough bats. So there you go.
Okay. That's all I need to know. Thank you for your opinion, Rob. That's all I need to know. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
Stop drinking, Chucky.
Bama might compete well for a little while, but I think when it comes to the teeth of the SEC schedule, they're probably going to flounder out, and they may make a regional, but I don't think they'll make it past a regional.
I think they've got two really good pitchers, one starter and one reliever that's supposedly really good. The rest of it is supposedly hot dog water. So Fuckstick he wants to call in. He wants to antagonize so bad. Poor guy.
And I'm giving them shit about the basketball team, but they've only lost one game so far. Right now, they're third in the standings behind the only two teams in the SEC that are undefeated so far, which are Arkansas and LSU. So,
From what he heard, Tuscaloosa media. There are no media in Tuscaloosa. Nobody there can read or write. Stop spreading lies. Right?
They have that extremely reputable website. What's it? BammerHammer.com.
You remember BammerHammer.com?
BammerHammer.com.
It sounds like somewhere you would go to watch a stag film. It's BammerHammer.com. Fuck that. We'll claim that Bama baseball will sweep LSU.
I used
All right,
to
so
laugh.
anyway, so we'll have a show next week, and then after that we're going to take 2 weeks off for the holidays because I have the capability for the first time since COVID that I'm going to be off the week of the 19th through the 27th. My ass is not getting in front of a microphone unless I absolutely have to. I'm not working. Fuck off with all that. Andre can host a show. Dave can host a show. Gnome can host a show if his ass could show up. I might comment, but I'm not doing any more shows after that. I'm doing those. I'll do next week, and I'm taking 2 weeks off. All right, there you go with that. Anything else there, buddy?
That's all I've got.
All right, go fuck yourselves. Have a good night.